What's up, guys? Welcome to 2023, where I'm back again. It's me, Joe, the man who tells you to stop watching Arrested Development after Season 3. Nothing past that. And I'm here to talk about the first fight card of the year, first UFC fight card, specifically, I should say. UFC Fight Night, Strickland versus Imavov. Ton to talk about. Not all of it's actually the fights itself. So, enough talk. Let's get to the fights. In our main event, we had Sean Strickland versus Nassourdine Imavov. So, just when I thought I escaped 2022, I don't have to watch a Sean Strickland fight for a little bit. He hunts me down and he finds me. But in all seriousness, actually, this was an okay fight. So we're originally going to be Kelvin Gastelum, who I like watching fight, and he had a big tooth injury. Had to get sewed back in. And so here comes Sean Strickland to save the day, because, Apex cards aren't really stacked. So, here we go. And it's been less than a month since his last fight, so all my critiques and complaints of the Sean Strickland style still hold up. You really can't reinvent yourself and kind of fix a lot of things in less than a month. It's just kind of how it is. So still a lot of jabs. I'm wanting more left hooks. I'm wanting more oomph on the right hands. He kind of went after the finish a little bit more in this fight. And he was showing attempts to wrestle, something I think he's very underrated at, and he was throwing more kicks. Again, so there was some improvements, but you're wanting more. So I think this is a decent step in the right direction, just not quite there. So for the scoring of the fight, because it went to the decision, I actually thought it was kind of a flat out. First 4 rounds was definitely Sean Strickland, whereas I thought the last round, Imavov knew he was down. Sean Strickland kind of slowed down, short notice replacement. He's slowing down. He goes at him, and he's trying to get the finish, trying to get back into the fight, and Strickland just kind of wants to rest up and clinch. Imavov round for me. And once again, I'm kind of at a loss for words on what to do here. Initially, I was thinking the Derek Brunson, Marvin Vettori, which is recently booked, the loser. But that doesn't make any sense to me, because he just won the fight. I'm thinking of, Sean Strickland losing to Cannonier. So the winner of that kind of makes sense to me, because both those guys are going into a loss, going into that fight. So the winner makes sense here to kind of be in the middle. Co-main event, Dan Ige versus Damon Jackson. I actually like watching fight. I was actually excited for this fight because I enjoy watching a Damon Jackson fight. And despite Dan Ige's losing streak, he's really fun to watch. This was a good performance by Dan Ige, I thought. I thought he had the clear speed and power advantage. He was kind of landing at will, even kind of seemed to sting Damon Jackson in the first round a little bit. Second round, though, perfect lead, beautiful left hook, just, puts him out. He's out like no one's business. Damon Jackson hits the ground, KO, Dan Ige gets that 50K bonus. It's pretty good, good little knockout. Then we had Roman Kopylov, probably even pronouncing that wrong, sorry, against Punahele Soriano. And, I don't remember any Kopylov fight, but everyone's always telling me, oh, he's a pretty interesting striker. And I'm like, I might check it out. And Soriano is always fun. He's very meat and potatoes, just big left hand, kind of older school kind of fighter for me. And I think he's kind of fun. So this fight was actually pretty fun, I thought. Kopylov, better footwork, better technical striker, and attacking the body very well in the first round. But Soriano was kind of lurking with that big bomb of a left hand, and you kind of wonder, is that going to land? That's kind of the fun thing when, a guy doesn't have it in the, he's outclassed in the striking department, but he's able to kind of land a little bit. When they have that kind of, X factor power, you go, this is interesting, So second round, nasty spinning back kick from Kopylov, and not a lot of reaction from Soriano. But they're in a southpaw matchup, so Kopylov is just attacking the close guard right here, with his rear leg body kick, just cracking the body, and he hits him once after the spinning back kick, and you see the slowdown. He swarms, he's attacking the body more and more, just going after him, and Soriano starts to kind of keel over a little bit. Ref stops it, standing TKO. I think it's a fair finish. Next up, we had Carl's girl, Rocky Pennington versus Caitlin Vieta. And it's a good little brawl. Good little women's brawl. Definitely, if you like a good women's brawl, there you go. Carl always likes his women brawls. He talks on the preview show about them. And but the first round was close. I could see it going either way. I kind of leaned towards Caitlin Vieira in that fight, or in that round. Second and third round, I thought it was rocky. So I know scorecards were all over the place. I was entertaining guests. I'm gonna be upfront and honest here. Entertaining guests, and I tossed the fights on late. So with this being the second fight on the main card, they were still there. It was a couple. A friend of mine was a couple, and they were into it and everything. They were watching, and so I was a little distracted though, kind of going oh yeah, this is blah blah XYZ kind of thing, doing my usual, and so I can understand if you disagree with my decision over the Rocky thing, but I'm leaning towards her. I thought, from what I saw, and I tried to pay attention the best I could. I thought it was a Rocky win. Good little fun brawl. Not a lot of technique, just two people trying to go out there and swing some leather. Great win for her in a division that isn't stacked at all. So a title shot that she's clamoring for, definite possibility. First fight to open up the main card was Umar Nurmagomedov versus Raoni Barcelos. Pretty impressive KO win for Umar Nurmagomedov. He was kind of throwing a kick. I thought it was a knee at first. It was a kick. And then with the momentum, he kind of throws a punch as well, right behind it. Left hook lands clean. And, here we go. A lot of kicks, a lot of off angles for him before the KO. And, I got to be honest. People don't like this Dagestani invasion. I totally get it, but I do kind of like when a Dagestani fighter shows up with a different kind of game. I don't want to just see Khabib 2.0, 3.0, or whatever Ali Abdelaziz tries to pitch to me. I really don't like. I saw Khabib. It was great. It was a great title run. I thought I kind of want to see something different. I don't want to see just homage or cover acts to the same guy, I guess. So seeing stuff like this, big thumbs up for me. Kid's 16-0 now, so putting him on the first fight of the main card, great way to keep eyes on a very promising start in the UFC. So that's really all I had to talk about. There was really nothing on the prelims that kind of captured my attention and my imagination here. So I wanted to kind of start off with two things left. First one, I want to pay some respects to Victoria Lee and her family. So Victoria Lee passed away at the incredibly young age of 18. She was the younger sibling to ONE FC's champions Angela Lee and Christian Lee. And she herself was had a 3-0 record, all of her professional fights in MMA in ONE FC. She was a 4-time junior gold medalist in pancration representing the USA, and her cause of death is unknown as of now. I know there's some speculation, and I haven't really seen anything plausible or concrete, but to be honest with you, that doesn't matter. For me, I have a younger brother. He's 7 years younger than me. I couldn't imagine the pain their family's going through right now. I lost a parent. This is a little different, when it's someone younger, someone you're not, you never expect anything like that to happen. So my heart, all my love and heart and respect, all that goes out to the Lee family. So rest in peace. So to kind of shift away from the sad news of sorts, don't get too emotional here. Let's talk about this Francis situation. So a banner got leaked for Cyril Gane, John Jones. Yeah, that guy who used to fight, and apparently he might fight again. For the heavyweight title, undisputed heavyweight title. That led to some speculation. Dana comes out and says, "Yeah, it's happening," and then he drops another bombshell. They released Francis Ngannou, the current heavyweight champion. They strip him, the champ. They strip him and release him. Whoa. So here's some of the claims they said. They're claiming he doesn't want to fight top talent anymore. He doesn't want to fight the highest level guys. The guy who's been going, "Hey, I want to box Tyson Fury." That's not top level. Okay, I know it's a different sport, but come on. The fire is still there, in a sense. If you really want to go out there, it's not like fighting Mayweather. Tyson Fury will seriously, is a serious health risk. So is Mayweather, but come on. A little different in heavyweight. He even said he wanted to fight John Jones. So, I don't know. And then they also claimed they were offered him more money than any UFC heavyweight fighter ever. So I'm going to toss this idea out. More money than any UFC heavyweight fighter ever. Isn't that just like $45? Like, I mean, they don't pay fighters nothing, it feels like. So come on. I'm taking all this with a grain of salt. All their claims, all the UFC's claims, all Dana's claims. Because there's a big problem here. The UFC, I think, is trying to defend their horrible handling of Francis Ngannou. This is a guy who was profitable. Number 2, he had mainstream appeal, which of course leads into point 1. And 3, just unbelievable KO power. So this is a guy who's a walking highlight reel that you can use to promote for years and years after he quits fighting. 4, this is a guy with a inspirational story. I'm not an Ngannou fan, but I'm not going to act like that story isn't like one of the most inspirational things ever. Like, it is unbelievable. That is his story. So, I don't know. They were just so, the UFC just loves to refuse respect to their heavyweight champions, it feels like. I remember seeing this with Stipe, thinking the same thing was going to happen with Stipe. Stipe's just going to quit, though. They fired him. It's crazy to me. And the big thing is, it's because they do not like fighters. It's not just a heavyweight joke, I always do, but they don't like fighters that speak up and stand up for themselves and for fellow fighters. They don't like that. They want you to just, eat your crap, or, take your crap and eat it, that kind of thing. Look at DC. DC is going to have a job forever. Because if the UFC started saying, hey, we're only going to pay fighters $1 per fight, like literally, they've ever said that, DC is going to show up on his ESPN show, and he's going to say something like, listen, the UFC's doing a great thing here, we're feeding fighters, because you can go to get a $1 menu thing without taxes at McDonald's. We're feeding you. Come on, he's going to spin it. He's just the biggest, company man. Nothing wrong with that, really, I guess. But so it's just kind of how it is. And Ngannou wasn't that. At first he was the Dana pet project, and he wasn't. This is a crazy story to an already crazy 2023, and it's just gonna add on. Can I get a break? But that's it for me, though. I'm glad to welcome you guys into my second calendar year. Technically I'm around the 9-month, 10-month mark, but it's my second calendar year with the UFC, or the INC. God, what is wrong with me today? I'm actually going to redo that, Carl. I want to just redo the outro again. I messed up 4 times. Oh, God. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Well, that's it for me. I'm glad to welcome you guys into my second calendar year. Technically, I'm around the 9-10 month mark, but it's my second calendar year with the INC. And I'm so glad to be here with you guys still. And I'll be here next week to recap UFC 283. I did a preview show with Carl, which is great. I had a lot of fun doing it. And so next week, you can watch the preview show. Then you can watch my recap, where I talk about how, oh my God, I called every fight exactly. And of course, if you guys, really miss me, next week is a pay-per-view. So that's another retro review on the main channel. And I did spoil it like I normally do on the preview show. Very, very excited to do this one. I actually just watched it, the cut of it, and I was laughing at my own jokes, which might be sad, but I enjoyed it. And if you want to vote for anything you want me to review on the Retro Review series, go to our Patreon. I did the first one already, the first one ever. It's so cool. I love this fan interaction. My favorite part of the gig, Anyways, I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you for watching.